rising up, roaring. Who will get what they need in this game? Because both lineups, in one way or another, need a lot to really work.
It takes formulas right now, early game, to have an advantage for these two fast-paced lineups. You could actually have to dictate or even stop on how NXPE could actually rotate in this kind of way.
Oh, I can see Midnight smile from all the way over here. This is the way you play Karina. Look at Boyet. He is way, way ahead of King Kong. And talk about clearing time, he took no more than 40 seconds to get both buffs.
Wow. Fast movement there with the Demon Slayer emblem, of course. NXPE EVOS, this is why they picked up that Karina. It's the temper to the tempo of TNC.
I love it. How you paced this game is actually working for NXPE EVOS. As the laning goes by, NXPE is setting up a border onto the first probably objective, but they're eyeing on mid lane spamming. But now it's still on a give and take situation.
Oh, Bentings playing footsies with Goyong and Brusco. Watch the Ocean Oddity. Again, timing, initiations on NXPE EVOS' side. So this early on, the best that TNC can look for is a good counter initiation. They can burst down whoever gets in too deep from NXPE.
Yeah, and if TNC Pro Team are too eager to go for the engagements, going up against a Ruby and a Kadita, they're the tempo breakers in team fights. One little quick press of a button, you're going to see that Ruby spin, and then suddenly there's a moment, a window for NXPE EVOS to start TNC.
Hesu with the flicker, Earth Shatter. Boyet running for his life. Goyo gets the kill. Now Ding trying to save the situation. Flickers on through. Goyo still alive, gets pulled in, and Goyong gets the kill. Now Turtle, question mark, who's gonna get this? Where's King Kong? He's way up top.
No, they're not risking to take this first objective. NXPE EVOS has actually eyes, but on Doming.
Oh! That carry was left unsupervised. King Kong has his way. That's a kill up top.
And what I really liked about that play is the moment that Domeng saw that ultimate of the Harith go down to the floor, he knew he had to step away from it, meaning that he went further away from the minions to split the damage of the Hayabusa ultimate. So he was just standing there under the tower, taking up all of the damage from the Haya.
They know the do's and don'ts here. NXPE EVOS is armed and ready. But onto the trades here. They're eyeing on the first objective. TNC won't contest this. They don't have the superpower, even the defense, to have a counter punish against NXPE EVOS.
Now that's an interesting approach. They get a kill up top. They win an engagement in mid, I'd say. That was a good trade. But they give up Turtle.
Yeah. Sometimes you just really have to take those trades across the map, especially if you know that in certain situations you won't be able to win in a team fight. Go and Bentings, so have to be careful.
Oh, Brusco with the I'm offended. Bentings barely alive. Use that flicker to survive. And again, this is what we were saying. When NXPE wants something, they go get it.
That's the fast rotation and pickoff right there.
Yeah, the aggressive playstyle, the signature of Minana. Now NXPE EVOS. Scan the QR code to redeem it. If you want to get that, play as fast and, well, scan as fast as NXPE EVOS plays.
How this match goes, how do you put brake pads on NXPE EVOS? It's not too far yet, but they're really answering to a lot of questions right here as TNC sees opportunity in every setup.
Do they know that Brusco's here?
No.
Do they know? All right, he goes home. He knows he's out of his breath here. He knows that if he crosses this river, Bentings is going to have him. So,
Yeah.
all right, again, NXPE EVOS, very good situational awareness.
Yeah, they know. You need to have this macro gameplay up against TNC. There's a lot of things that they actually cover, but look at this. They're just trying to work on even their objectives, not on to being aggressive against TNC. They have a Hayabusa, they have King Kong, so it's even difficult to even carry to go down the XP lane.
A very fundamental playstyle by these two teams. Hesu might eat up a NXPE sandwich.
That's malicious intent. Can he survive? It looks like
Oh!
Hesu's okay.
He's
How
alive.
did
He's
Hesu
on.
do this? Hesu survived the 3v1. Now a 4v1. Boyet biding his time. Hesu used that Primal Wrath. All the whole shebang. That's the full kit to survive.
How did he manage to stay alive? A lot of HP bars are totally high and red. Hesu just standing there. I'm using this ultimate. Go ahead and leave.
Look at Innocent.
Look at Innocent.
This whole time he was left alone.
He's pushing all by himself.
That's a happy Harith.
That child is unsupervised.
No, don't leave that one unattended.
He vandalized next place turret, but now look at this turtle. Down goes King Kong's target. Ding! Innocent pushes, but the turtle goes over to Boyet though. He takes down King Kong. And now Hesu just doing damage control. Wow. Was that a worthy trade?
Oh, worthy trade indeed. They got the turtle, but Innocent, look at him going up against
Doming.
Doming.
Doming! This is what we were talking about. That Harry just goes online much faster than a carry.
Talking about how to amplify the roads here. Hesu is just completely defending himself, even against a Karina.
And these two teams are incredibly fundamental at the exact same reason, because they're just trading all across the map. Always trading. That's the idea between these two teams. And even in team fights, one goes down, we make sure we take one or we get two back. You get the turtle, we'll get our turret somewhere else. You'll dive us in the bottom lane, okay, we'll defend, but look at our gold laner. He's having a good time in the gold lane, talking about Innocent on that Harith. So at this point, though, it's just going to get to the moment of a team fight going really bad for one team, but really well for another.
Yeah, the pros and cons, the positive and negative.
Yeah, at one point you'll have to stop trading. That you can't trade anymore. It'll just become a win-loss situation.
Yeah. How do you manage to stay alive? But he got
Oh,
the
Brusco with the flicker forward. I'm
that's it.
offended. Taking two down. And Goyo was a little too late to the party. King Kong was still taking his orange. Clear win for Next Play EVOS.
And that's the win-loss situation we're talking about there. Not win-win at all.
Ooh.
That was all Next Play EVOS as we look at that instant replay. Quick on the entry by Brusco. Flicker with the ultimate and that second skill. No escape at all for Innocent and Ben Things.
How do you become safe in the placement of Brusco's I'm offended pull in situations like this?
Something tells me Brusco was happy to just get Innocent, right?
Yeah.
But there was someone else in the bush. That was just game sense 900. That was amazing.
Instincts.
I smell the Ben Things, but there's an Innocent presence here. And he got it right.
They managed to even predict who's hiding in part of every bush here. But Next Play EVOS is starting to have damage up against this turtle. Meanwhile, TNC is not giving even a care at all, even contesting this.
Yeah, playing it so safe, knowing that they can give up the turtle at this point, but at some point that lead will get pushed to close to 2.5 or even 3,000 gold, unless TNC make a play, and this is the play maybe.
Summon Force set in underneath here, one down bottom. Look at Innocent just targeting that turret. He's going to get his way. There's an onward by Hesu, putting Ding in a weird position.
Oh, no, Innocent.
That's a grab set in by Ding. Down goes Innocent. Hesu, Earth Shatter, no one home. Onward and use the Primal Wrath, and Ding is feeling it. Ding is feeling it, folks.
We're receiving a different message from Next Play EVOS. While two members of the Next Play EVOS were pushing down, there was two pushing down up top. This is the macro game that they're playing. In a bigger scale, TNC is trying to have an edge of the strategy. How will they fix this?
Well, they're going to need to balance the map equilibrium by split pushing a side lane. At this point, might be a little bit too risky to stick all together and try to force a play. Again, up against a Ruby and Kadita, your team fight tempo will get broken most likely, and add the glue into that, going to be really difficult. Looking into the items right now, gold laners very close. There is a slight lead for Next Play EVOS' marksman, but at this point, because of how well Harith scales with just two items, and even has a swift crossbow on him, he already hurts. So the lead isn't that big of an issue, but right now it is the massive lead for Next Play EVOS' jungler that they're slightly going to be worrying about. TNC, a lot of tanky items for Next Play EVOS. But in the mid lane, look at this.
I'm feeling something here.
This is a standoff. Watch Brusco. Watch Brusco. He has his flicker. He has his ult. And they know they're here. Look at Boyet. Going into the pistol rush. And he walks
missed the
in.
knockup.
No Earth Shatter here. There's the Circling Eagle. Summon Force and in Doming. Free hits. Down goes Goyo. Down goes Hesu as well. It is catastrophic. There's the Quad Shadow. There's the shadow kill, but no one's still down from Next Play EVOS. They head 4K, and they get what they want and walk away.
Man, did Boyet know the whole plan of Next Play EVOS? Turned out to become a blessing.
A blessing in disguise. Somehow Hesu missing that Earth Shatter knockup. But it's because of the extra movement speed that the Karina had at that moment. I feel like Boyet had an idea or had a feeling that someone might have been in that bush because he knew he was crossing through a dangerous spot in the map. So with that extra movement speed, he was luckily able to avoid the knockup from Hesu, hence why he survived, hence why Next Play Evos gets the first Lord of the game.
Just as that, that's the 5.3k gold lead. They're playing the macro game all across TNC. How do you secure these questions, these obstacles? Because it's merely Ben Things could actually give vision against Next Play Evos, but easily he can be bursted down.
I guess for Ben Things at this point, it's the pickoff game, and Next Play Evos is not allowing it. It's less about how TNC can do it, but more how Next Play Evos is not allowing it. It's just not going to happen. Not in Boyet's house, not in Goyong's house, not in Brusco's house.
Yeah, they're countering every attempt incredibly well. Already 3 main items locked in for that carry. So the frontliners of TNC, it will need to be a pickoff. A pickoff on a major target. Either somehow get Goyong, but most likely he might be able to get away with just a sliver of health with the rough waves, or Doming. But Next Play Evos, again, not allowing it because they're positioning well enough that it's so hard for TNC to even find Doming. Even though he is 1-1, in the recent developments, TNC have not been able to get close enough to Doming.
How to get close up against a pull of Brusco. An ultimate of a Ruby can be catastrophic, as you might see against TNC, but how do you manage to go up front? How do you even pick off Brusco or Domi? He has an immortality right on the face of TNC.
It's close to impossible. I'm putting myself in the shoes of King Kong, and I can't even think of the first thing to do. Again, your opponents, they're clumped up, right?
Yep.
You are a Hayabusa at 11 minutes, short of maybe a core item to even kill the softest member of the opponent's team. I don't even check, Ramar. Does he have a Windtalker? Does Doming have a Windtalker? Because if he does, then it's all the more a difficult premise.
Not yet. He is still on the way to building that Windtalker. So far, he prioritized damage.
Oh, there you go.
And Boyet knows. Oh, look at the gusto on this rookie. Your first game here in the MPL. I'm telling TNC. I know you're right there.
That's confidence right there.
Those are mind games.
I mean, if you face check into a bush with 4 members and then you don't die, I guess he bought himself that kind of confidence, right?
Well earned.
Yep. Now Ding playing footsies
They're
with
baiting
4,
it.
5 members.
conceal.
Here comes a concealed play
That's
coming in
massive.
from Brusco. Flicker already spent in by Ben Things. And despite it being a false engagement, I'm guessing that's mission accomplished for Next Play.
Yep, Next Play was very happy with this development, and TNC, if they try to contest this Lord, it's going to be a massive gamble because at this point, Next Play Evos can wipe them off of the face of the earth. So Next Play Evos, just total control for them. In this scenario, you'll just find King Kong trying to split push the side lanes just a little bit. TNC will have to play defensive for the next 4 or 5 minutes of the game. If they really want to turn this around, survive 5 minutes, somehow get a little bit more gold to get past the 40,000 threshold, and then maybe you'll be able to force a team fight to turn things around, even though you're behind in gold.
Buy time is the answer for TNC, but will they gamble? Will they risk this Lord up against Next Play Evos? As Renmar mentioned, they need the items, they need the damage, but
They're
they need
really
to have the
contested.
setup.
Well,
they're
to
risking
start
it.
with an onward. They find Ding, but it doesn't seem to be enough. Boy, it secures the Lord. Now Ding with a split. Innocent goes down, serves up the kill to Doming. That's Force left right there. He's on the hilt of his own ult, laying there, and now is Hesu and Benting split up from the rest of their team. Guiding Winds helping Hesu survive. Who's going to be the target? Who is Next Play Evos going to focus on? Earth Shatter. Oh, just delaying the inevitable. Boyet still keeping a beat on to Hesu. And the flicker. Oh, and an Earth Shatter plus a Guiding Wind. TNC with the fancy moves, but they cannot get away. Hesu will fall, and Benting is still running off.
Yeah, Benting still trying to find a way to get
my
back to
goodness.
base. But Boyet might just be able to stop it, but no, Boyet won't commit it. So there'll be a 4-man massive gold lead, almost 15 minutes in.
Yeah, the gamble, the risk, it turned out to be a complete disaster. Slowly opening the base of TNC. Next Play Evos is not wasting time. They're stepping on the gas and not breaking and taking on challenges up against TNC. Look at that look at Doming freely hitting out the turret down bottom. They have one turret left for TNC, and they're pushing in the base.
Lord swinging away. There's a knock-up. Summon Force. Can they do it? Oh, that's one down. Papa Immortality has to. Is the first to go. The wave is still here. Innocent taken down as well. Three defenders. Next play, Evos gonna go ahead and win their first game here. Woo!
That is how you make a welcome against TNC. Next play, Evos completely showing confidence up against this new team, the new roster of TNC.
TNC Pro Team kept the game close, traded well. At some point, next play, Evos just went Minana mode, dare I say Cerebro mode, channeling their past and saying,